A new chess history has been created during the World Cup 2023 match between an 18-year-old teen Praggnanandhaa from the southernmost Indian state called Tamil Nadu and the Norwegian Grandmaster Magnus Carlsen, who at the age of 19 became the youngest player ever to reach number 1 in the FIDE world ranking. Meanwhile, Praggnanandhaa is currently the youngest ever World Cup finalist by defeating the world's number 3 and even number 2 ranked players Caruana and Fabiano, while himself being in the 29th position. But before we talk about the nail-biting finals with the final boss Magnus Carlsen, who has held the number 1 position in the FIDE World Chess Ranking since July 2011, we first need to talk about the insanely inspiring story of Rameshbabu Praggnanandhaa. Pragu, as he is most commonly called by his friends and people in social media, is a young boy from Chennai who began to play chess at the tender age of 3 with his older sister Vaishali, who also holds the FIDE title of International Master and Woman Grandmaster. His polio-affected bank employee father Ramesh Babu and mother Nagalakshmi, who were not fond of their children spending excessive amount of time in front of television, introduced to the game of chess at an early age. He became the youngest international master in the history of chess in 2016 at the age of 10. He is also the youngest player and the third Indian following Vishwanath Anand and Hari Krishna to defeat Norwegian superstar Magnus Carlsen prior to this event. Furthermore, in 2018, when Praggnanandhaa was 12 years old, he became the youngest grandmaster in India and the second youngest in the world at that time. He is also the 5th youngest GM of all time, having charted his own path to achieve this title. Meanwhile, pretty much everyone knows about Magnus, who became the world chess champion by defeating Vishwanath Anand in 2013. He has successfully defended his title multiple times. Carlsen is also a 4-time winner of the World Rapid Chess Championship and a 6-time winner of the World Blitz Chess Championship. He is also known for his ability to play chess in many different ways, which makes it difficult for his opponents to prepare against him. Also, a widely interesting fact is that Magnus Carlsen played in his first ever FIDE World Cup in 2005, and it was at the same year Prag was born. Anyway, coming back to the Chess World Cup 2023, which is a highly anticipated event with 206 players competing in a single-elimination chess tournament. The top 3 finisher in the tournament usually qualifies for the 2024 candidate tournament, which is to fight for the World Championship title. However, since Magnus Carlsen is unlikely to participate in the candidate tournament, the remaining semi-finalists will also qualify. On top of this, the total prize fund for this event is $1.8 million. To be precise, that is $1,834,000. So the stakes are high. Coming into the finals between Magnus Carlsen and Prag, it is important to note that neither of them have ever won World Cup before. That is correct. Despite Magnus pretty much conquering every single top title in the chess world, this is the one stone that he hasn't collected before. Therefore, this was a game between the youngest superstar versus the old guard who hasn't had an opportunity to win this tournament yet. On day 1 of the finals, Praggnanandhaa gave the world number 1 player Carlsen a tough time. However, Carlsen skillfully managed to reach a draw with the black pieces after 35 moves. This wasn't the best outcome for Prag, as this means in day 2 Carlsen will be playing as white. For context, in the years of playing hundreds of chess games, Carlsen has only lost about 20 classical games with white. For people who are unfamiliar with chess, there's a general agreement among players and theorists that the player who makes the first move, which is white, has an inherited advantage over the game. However, on day 2, just a few moves into the game, people noticed something interesting about the opening. Vishwanathan Anand, who held the World Championship before Carlsen, mentioned, "Wow, did not expect this opening. Is Magnus repeating his game 12 strategy of 2016 and aiming for a tiebreak?" And that is exactly what happens. They drew. Some sources claim that Magnus aimed for a tiebreak as he was ill and has been tackling food poisoning during this week. Regardless, on day 3, we entered the tiebreaker round, with almost 150,000 people watching from all over the world. In just this single YouTube stream from Chess24, it won't be an exaggeration to claim that millions of people were watching this tiebreaker, which is a best of 2 game with a 25-minute timer and a 10-second increment per move. The final classic game of 2023 FIDE World Cup between these 2 GMs were very different from each other. So much so that as early as move 5, it was predicted that the outcome would be a draw. However, on move 14, when the board reaches to this position, Magnus moves his pawn to g6 and the eval bar slowly drops to Prague's favor, and everyone watching it live freaks out. But Prague moves his knight forward to f5, missing the advantage, and the game continues towards a tie. But the table turns on move 28 when Prague moves his pawn to g4, giving an advantage to Magnus. Yet once again, with the time pressure, Magnus misses the advantage and pushes his pawn forward to f6, which the computer thinks is a blunder, and proves that both these high intellectual GMs are still breathing human beings at the end of the day. When the game reached the endgame, Magnus had almost 3 minutes on the clock, whereas Prague was making stressful decisions with less than 20 seconds on his clock. When the clock hit 6 seconds, Prague made a panic move which pretty much gave the win to Magnus. And after a few moves, Prague decides to prepare for game 2 of the tiebreaker, where he needs to win with black if he wants to continue, which, as everyone predicted, was not going to happen, and the game ended in about 20 minutes in a draw, whereas game 1 took more than an hour to end. With Magnus' own tweet saying chess completed it, and Prague and other top contestants moving on to next challenge to decide the qualifier for the World Championship title against Ding Liren, who just recently crowned as the World Chess Champion, we are basically witnessing one of the biggest changes happening in the world of chess. Does this mean Magnus is completely done with chess? Will Prague continue to defeat the top players to face another boss battle with Ding? Only time will answer our questions.